Did you hear about the little St. Lucian girl? Her teacher asked her on what days Carnival was celebrated in St. Lucia. And the voice of innocence said, Carnival is every day in St. Lucia, Ma'am. And she said, come again, what? Every day is Carnival in St. Lucia, she says. And she's so right. You know, all you have to do is walk the streets, turn on your radio. I'm giving you choices. Turn on the TV, go to some rum shop. Carnival, carnival, carnival. Don't stop the carnival. Lately, there's another launch, and the launch is called Rick Wayne. And you can always tell when something interesting is about to happen in St. Lucia politically. Well, we have a number of things about to happen in St. Lucia politically. We have the teachers thing, the unions thing, the 5% cuts thing, the Prime Minister has done all his rounds to get his consensus thing, all of that. And so now is, of course, recently he had to announce that the Grindberg thing is alive and well. Only he tried to make it look like the trial had started, the tribunal had started, and they won the first round. I'm not going to go into that. It's not true. That's not what happened, and it's in the star for anybody to read. But Grindberg, like Rochamel, like Frenwell, like the NCA scandal, all those things have Rick Wayne somewhere in there. Because had it not been for that scoundrel Rick Wayne, none of those stories would ever have appeared. You never would have heard of Romwell, of Frenwell. You never would have heard of Rochamel. And sure as hell, you never would have heard about Grindberg. As a matter of fact, I've been writing about Grindberg for about 2 years. Not even the journalists in St. Lucia understand. But there are people who don't need to understand anything. You just have to crank them up. Like there's this semi-employed big belly taxi man. I think his name is Frank or some stupid name like that. You know, gets on the radio, and of course his main target is a target he can't touch, a target way beyond him. So what does he do? He calls a radio station and says, Rick Wayne is always on the air. Hey, it's a guy who won the universe. Hey, it's a guy who did this. Hey, it's a guy who did that, and all kinds of things. And that man never opened a boxing gym. You know, that man never opened a boxing gym. The man could have gone to the prison and teach the prisoners up there how to box and all kind of stuff. I'm not a boxer, folks. I'm a bodybuilder. I was a champion bodybuilder. And as far as what have I done, and I hate this blowing of trumpet crap. But for the matter of information, I opened a pretty famous gym in St. Lucia called Body Inc. that has set the standard for every other gym in St. Lucia today. As far as visiting prisoners, I don't make a big deal about it, but I have been to Bordelais a number of times and reported aspects of that. But what is more important, I write almost every issue of my paper talking about what passes for justice in this country and the number of people who are at Bordelais rotting, waiting for a trial date. Some have been there 11 years. Can you believe this? In a Christian country, people have been locked up for 11 years without a trial. People have been locked up for 10, 6 years with no trial, not even with a trial date. And that is horrific, not only for the people who are locked up, it is horrific for their families, and first and foremost, for the victim, the person who was killed or whatever, who is getting no justice whatsoever, and whose relatives are getting no closure. Do the politicians care? They don't care a damn. So they have their little unemployed, okay, go out and talk foolishness that they're not capable even of talking the foolishness, that they're that stupid. So I am supposed to show I'm a true blue St. Lucian by going to Bordelais and teaching them the box. And if I were to do that, that would make me an A1 St. Lucian. The fact that I expose all the rottenness that passes for parliament, all the rottenness that passes for politics in this country, makes me terrible, makes me a should have been teaching them how to box kind of guy. Okay? So, you know, what does one say to that? What does one say to that? The latest one is Grindberg. So, Rick Wayne's story on Grindberg is not true. But not one government minister challenges Rick Wayne. It's the illiterates. The illiterates were the most vociferous as to what really is in the Grindberg contract that they never saw, that even if they saw, they could not read, and which I know by heart because I've been on the case for about 3 years. So I said to other St. Lucians, like Derek Walker is one of those who gets blows all the time because that man never do nothing for St. Lucia. That man not talking to people. That man so aloof, so unfriendly, all that kind of stuff. They never read a Derek Walker book, as I said the other day. Ask him for a title by Derek Walker. How can these people appreciate Derek Walker? Like I said the other day as well, that's the self-hate problem. But it doesn't affect me. Anytime now, you're likely to see on your website, on your whatever, a beautiful picture of Rick Wayne with no clothes on. Wow! Rick Wayne with no clothes on? But it happens every year. It's the signal that election is in the air. Look out for it.